Doing great.
Doing pretty good. Yeah, I just realized I'm wearing the loudest shirt possible for the viewers. It's got sand dollars all over it, and I'm looking at it. And I'm getting distracted looking at it in the camera here.
They are
So,
they are beautiful.
It
yeah.
could always be like bright pink or something like that, or bright orange.
I
At
was
least
also
it's a
just
muted
realizing.
tone.
Yeah, I was also just realizing that we moved into doing this recording in like the booths outside of our office, which I want to say that up front because we were not moving because people were making fun of my room in the background. I wonder if somebody else was like, "Yeah, I got him not to record at home," or
Well,
change his background to look like he's in an asylum.
yeah, Vernon, you and I are also in office on the day that we're recording this now, so I think we're
Yeah,
dressed a little
he's
nicer now.
he's here. He's right behind me. If I slam on this door, yeah, the magic of podcasting makes it look like we're far apart.
I think everybody missed it last week, but at one point, Dan, you had to run into the office really quick, and so
Mhm.
Vernon ran around to the other
Yeah.
one, so he appeared on your screen.
Yeah,
Oh, the shenanigans we did up to.
this is light as far as shenanigans go.
This is the life. This is why we do reporting.
This is why we do it all.
Mhm.
Yeah. Speaking
right.
of reporting,
Should we go ahead and get into it? All right. Our first article today is about the overhaul of congressional maps to combat gerrymandering.
Yeah, well, a proposed overhaul. This is
Mhm.
not passed yet. This is not
yeah,
Yeah.
especially likely to pass anytime soon. But it is pretty interesting to think about. And I was actually curious what you guys think about this one. So basically, our congressman Don Beyer, he is proposing this new system for like representation, which he argues would reduce a lot of concerns about gerrymandering and improve representation in Congress. So the idea is that you would have overall like larger congressional districts. So for instance, like you could potentially divide Virginia, say, into 3 congressional districts, and each of those districts would have multiple representatives. The idea is that people would vote via ranked choice voting. And so, like, all of Northern Virginia would vote as one block, and we would get like 3 representatives. And, like, it would be like the top 3 people who voters decide on via ranked choice voting would then become our representatives in Congress. The idea is that this would improve representation. So, like, whereas, Arlington is basically always going to have a Democratic congressman these days. There could be a possibility that like one of those seats would be competitive in Northern Virginia, and like Northern Virginia might sometimes have one of those 3. For instance, one of those 3 might sometimes be a Republican in Northern Virginia, or in other parts of this country where like they're like solidly blue or solidly red. The idea is that this could potentially create better representation that more accurately represents the people who live in a place.
so where would this be going to get approved? Would it have to go to the state government? Would it be a federal government review?
This is at the federal level, yeah. That's why I say not necessarily that likely to pass anytime
Yeah,
soon, but you got to start somewhere.
you got to start somewhere. I would be kind of dubious of this. This is one of those gerrymandering reform is kind of a like prisoner's dilemma thing. You have to genuinely have both sides be committed to actually carrying this out, to actually doing it in a nonpartisan fashion. Because if you wind up with a situation where, won't name any names here, but if just one side is doing gerrymandering reform and the other side is going all in on gerrymandering, then you have one side winning basically. Like if you can't have both of them do that in a nonpartisan fashion, then you're basically just ceding ground.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, it's one where like, I mean, having it get the support is definitely a big question here. Where it's like, I
Sure.
mean, who presumably the current maps would favor people who are currently in Congress, and changing those maps might not favor people who are currently there. So I'm not entirely sure how you get the support to get this off the ground, but I don't
Yeah.
know.
It would be interesting to see how that reshapes the political landscape around the area for sure. Like if suddenly running Republicans in Northern Virginia would be viable, or running Democrats in like Southwest Virginia.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think this could be really interesting, but like you said, it's kind of, maybe a little bit of a long shot because there's so many, like you were
Yeah.
saying, there are just so many reasons for certain people to really hate this, and then other
Right.
reasons for someone to really like this. So it's, yeah, not, it would be hard to get it to be bipartisan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, especially since it would involve basically introducing ranked choice voting everywhere in this country.
Right.
Um, I mean, you never know.
Mhm.
I don't expect to see it happen this legislative section of the session. I'll say
Yeah,
that much.
something tells me that major gerrymandering reform is not on the table right now,
Not this year.
Yeah,
given some
yeah.
of the national news things. So, we'll
All right. Well, moving on. Our next article is about a cake influencer who is planning a Cake Fest DMV next month in Clarendon.
Love
yeah,
that.
this is pretty awesome. This was we were actually a little peek behind the curtain on how these things operate. We were sitting in the office, and I was having a story that's pushed back, and I was like, I don't know what's going on in Arlington. I don't know what to do as a story. And Jared is like, oh, I can send you one about a cake influencer. I was like, sure, let me look at it. And they said, Jared sent this TikTok my way. I do not use TikTok that much, but I started watching it and I was like, this is actually really addicting. I started watching more of this stuff and I was
Yes.
like, this looks really fun. And so, yeah, this is Shanice Nicole, who is a cake decorator with 30,000 TikTok followers, which I assume is a lot, who is hosting Cake Fest DMV. That's going to be on Sunday, September 21st at the Arlington Beer Garden over in Clarendon. And yeah, you're going to have a bunch of people. You have to bring a cake if you're going to participate. But you need a bunch of people bringing cakes, and they'll have cakes to try, cakes to share. There will be like alcoholic cakes, vegan cakes, that kind of stuff. So a big
Alcoholic
mix.
cakes?
Like
They
a
said that was
rum
one of the
cake.
categories. They said, yeah,
Wow, I
like a
love
rum
that.
cake,
Okay.
exactly. So
Yeah.
thank you for not being uncultured swine. Yeah,
Well, they use rum and brandy and stuff like that in
yeah.
baking a good bit.
Yeah. Oh, they did say avoid whipped cream or heat sensitive frosting because it's going to be outside in September. So we'll see
Oh
how that goes.
Mm.
Uh,
That'd be
I
so sad. You just watch your cake
yeah. The other
melting.
thing that got a lot of attention with this story and that we got talking around in the office was there is a early bird fee. There's $25 registration fee for the first 40 people to sign up. And I thought it was interesting that the comments on this were just as confused about that as like we were, which I guess the idea behind this is that if you're going to book a venue like this, you need to recoup certain costs, like to get it off the ground, to get it going at all. You need to know that you're going to be able to like pay for some of that stuff. And so I guess the idea is people signing up early, like, will help cover those costs, but there's no incentive to it. There's nothing
Yeah,
listed as like a reason to.
I feel like if I was like, oh, I want to do this, I'd be like, well, I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna register at the last
Right.
minute so I don't have to. So I'm worried that now people are all gonna have that same thought.
Yeah.
And they're gonna be like, well, I don't want to be one of the first people to
Yeah.
sign up.
Right. It's
Like,
only $25.
it's only $25. Like I imagine the ingredients to make the cake like cost more. But at the same time, that's $25. Like I
Right.
don't.
Well,
Yeah, but I
I'm.
just
Did they maybe mean that after that it goes up?
No, there's nothing. There's nothing else in there about a cost to sign up or anything like that. It's just that there's a fee for the first 40 people to sign up, which is, I mean, they have like a photo booth and a matcha bar. So I guess if you want to be like generous and contribute to making sure this succeeds and gets off the ground,
yeah.
which obviously none of us are good, generous people. So not
Well,
doing that.
listen. Think about how much amazing cake you're gonna get for that $25. Like that is genuinely still a steal. All
Yeah,
you gotta do
but
is
you'd
make
be
the
Yeah.
cake
You'd
for
be
your
getting just as much
$25.
cake by waiting for other people to sign up for it. It's not, you're getting an extra portion. But anyways,
I
I would say, yeah, other people were just as baffled by that.
Yeah. I I feel like there was like some misunderstanding and it was like normally it's like a $35 or a $30 registration. 'Cause it just that seems like the worst possible way to get people to like early register.
Are you saying a mistake in an ARL now story? How dare you? How dare you?
I still think the point here is like the sheer quantity of delicious cakes that
Oh
people are
yeah.
going to be eating. Like this,
All right,
I'm
big
just.
cake over here.
How many people do you guys think will show up?
Hopefully at least 25.
At least 40, you mean?
Yeah, at least 40.
I don't know.
I think it'd be a fair amount. I think there's a lot
Yeah.
of like, people seem very engaged on this. There's like a lot
Yeah.
of, because it's not, the thing that this person was saying was that it's not just a good opportunity to eat a bunch of cake, even though it is, and you need say no more to get me on board. But for people that do this professionally, it's nice to like meet with the other people in your area. It's nice
Mm.
to network with other like customers and stuff like that. So it's a good network for $25 for 40
Yeah.
people. It's a good networking
Do
opportunity.
they have like a limit on like how good does your cake have to be? Like if
I was gonna say, like, could we bake a cake and go?
First of all, I don't know where each of you are on your own screens for me, but like for Dan, I don't think there is a quality metric. It's just that I think they're trusting.
It's like a
trusting
bouncer
shame
at the
contest.
door.
Right? Yeah.
Like, listen, cake down the street.
No. Yeah. I think they're just trusting that if you make bad cakes, you'll have enough shame not to show up with one. Like we
That
should
was
have
the other
some
thing I was
shame
gonna
in our
say, is,
society.
I feel like I'd be so self-conscious.
Yeah, exactly. Like I that is the like I don't think there's a rule limiting you from like wearing a banana hammock to the to the swimming pools around here, but it's generally understood that you will be judged for it. Some people don't. But also, I don't really appreciate Lena assuming that all of us make bad cakes. Like that was the
No. But what I mean is, like, you don't have to be a professional baker, I guess. Like, I
nice
could make a
recovery.
pretty adequate cake,
Right.
but I could see, like, you know,
I know.
does
I
it
know
have
these are
to be,
technically
like,
different.
great?
I know these are technically different skill sets, but I've seen your massive Lego collection, and I assume that means you have the patience, time, and money for baking. So, whereas I have multiple Lego sets still in boxes, so I clearly have none of the patience, time, or money. So,
I think we should have an Arl Now bake-off.
Oh, I
that
could
would
actually
be
get behind that.
the ARLnow Bake Off would be the bake off of the ones that were rejected from the cake tournament for being too bad. Yeah.
The ones that got turned away at the door.
Yeah, this is the turned away at the door. The ARLnow's unofficial motto is everything here was turned away from the door somewhere else.
Oh my goodness. All right. Well, moving away from cakes and onto something a little bit more serious. Palestine activists target North Arlington home with protests and graffiti. This one was yours, Dan.
Yeah, pretty unusual site for an Arlington suburb, you know, just a quiet cul-de-sac, somewhere near like Yorktown High School, I think it was. A whole bunch of pro-Palestinian protesters showed up the other day at the home of a board member on the Gaza Humanitarian Foundation. Not to get super into the weeds of all this, and I'm certainly no expert, but basically the idea is that Israel has been trying to dismantle the UN's network of food distribution sites in Gaza and replace them with a handful of its own food distribution sites through the Gaza Humanitarian Foundation. Activists are really up in arms about this. They've been trying to get Israel to stop doing this. And this one group in particular here in the DC area has been showing up at people's houses with like basically a bunch of people with pots and pans, you know, just again in a quiet street, basically causing a scene. And in this case, people had showed up a few days before the protest and actually vandalized this dude's house, at least by all appearances. So I went over there, and there in the grass in his front yard, you can actually see someone had like killed the grass to spell out the word Gaza.
Which is kind of an impressively petty thing. Like that's the most Arlington form of protest is to mess with somebody's yard, to mess with the lawn out front.
You get them where it
Like,
hurts.
Yeah, that's an extremely Arlington way to protest something. I think like that or spraying like "Stop Fascism" on a stop sign is like the very Arlington way to protest.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, I was reading through this, and one thing that stuck out to me is one of the quotes that you got was like kind of profound, actually. Um, it was
Yeah, the
instead
unusual
we
began to get
ask.
a profound quote. Yeah.
Well, well, no, it was the instead we ask how far our society has
Yeah.
come that will allow murderers in suits. I thought that was like,
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah, and it's kind of a unique thing for this area too, right? Is that a lot of the people making this national policy, this
Hmm.
sometimes disastrous
Hmm.
national policies, can live in the area, and so if you want to bring something to somebody's front door, Northern Virginia is kind of the place to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. What really struck me about this particular protest is like one of the people I talked to a neighbor, and he mentions
Mm,
like I don't I'm not living next door to like Benjamin Netanyahu, like I didn't
right.
really expect that, this is just a board member of this particular organization, but
Yeah.
it's yeah, it's protesters kind of expanding their circle of who they're willing to target with these things. But
Yeah.
also, yeah, I mean, to your point, here in the DC area, we do just have a huge concentration of people who really are making these
Yeah.
decisions, and your next door neighbor could be one of them.
We had that in Alex. Well, especially if you're able to afford a house, it's even more likely that your next door neighbor will be one. I don't know if anybody in my apartment building is making national policy, but when I was covering Alexandria, we had the same thing too, where it was like people protesting ICE and stuff like that were meeting and rallying outside of people's houses that were like directors of national security and stuff like that. So yeah, it's kind of a unique thing around here versus
Hmm.
other places around the country.
Yeah. You mentioned in it too the along Chain Bridge. It was
Mm,
Yes.
happening as well. I
Yep.
remember driving past that, yeah, for a
Same.
long time.
yeah,
Yeah.
Like people
Yeah.
camped out. They weren't like doing anything. They were just, had
yeah,
their
just
signs
protesting.
and everything. But yeah, they were there for like a long time.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's kind of the interesting thing here is like it's it's new in that they're targeting someone like that was for someone who was like very
Hmm.
high up in the administration, whereas this is like some guy who is just a board member on this particular aid program. But it's not new in that like
Yeah,
yeah, people there's precedent for this now,
right.
Yeah.
coming to people's homes, and that kind of escalatory practice has it seems to be, I guess, here to stay for at least for the
Yeah.
time being.
Which I mean, also like not to get too political on this or like take a sides or anything, but it's also fair play. I mean, because a lot of these decisions are affecting other people at their homes. So
Hmm.
if you're going to talk about people, I think their residences, their places of living, are equally part of this.
Yeah.
Also, it's very funny that we ended the podcast last time joking about we were going more lighthearted and doing something about Palestine and Gaza. And now
Well,
here we are,
Here we
all these
are.
here
later.
we are.
That aged like milk. So here we go.
Yeah, I do feel like we kind of dug ourselves a hole with that one.
Yeah. Oof.
All right, well, moving on to a different note
Oh,
because we learned our lesson last
okay.
week.
We gotta not end
To
on
not
these
end with a
guys.
bummer, yeah. So
Appalachian and Italian inspired Nettie's Tavern opening in Clarendon.
yeah, that's exciting. Appalachian inspired was one of those things where as soon as I saw that, I was like, people are gonna love this. This is
Hmm.
sort of an Appalachian fever going around. There's have you ever seen the Old Gods of Appalachia podcast? Like it's a very popular one that's about like folklore and stuff in
No,
Appalachia.
but that
Oh
does
It's
yeah.
sound like something I would like.
Yeah, I mean I don't really like it, but a lot of people really do. So no offense, Old Gods of Appalachia, if you're watching, my
Thanks.
sister loves you. I don't know why you're watching an ARLnow podcast, but but no, it's so yeah, this is really cool. This is the idea is that it was kind of inspired by the owner's friend who was this woman out in West Virginia who had a lot of Italian heritage, and the way her family and her home cooking style kind of merged both some of the classic Italian dishes with some of the more colloquial like Appalachia stuff. Like you've got everything from I think they talk about pepperoni rolls being one of those
Yep.
things that was
Yes.
invented in West Virginia
Yeah, I didn't
as
know
kind of a
that.
riff on the Italian stuff. Yeah. So it's really cool. I mean, some of the dishes they talk about in the story are a 14-ounce ribeye in Cabernet Sauvignon gravy, which is kind of interesting. Rice and Brussels sprouts, and Reese's peanut butter cakes, chocolate pies. So I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, none of it very vegan friendly, but it sounds really fun. It sounds like a really good like place to stop and get something that's a little bit more off the beaten path.
Well, some of it's vegan friendly. Did you see you can get 5 beers for $5 on like Monday?
I
Oh, yeah.
saw those
Okay,
happy
perfect.
hours are crazy.
Vegan and alcoholic friendly, so double win for Vernon. Yeah, but no, we have so many things that are like I know this is more of an Alexandria thing, where it's like, oh, another pizza place is opening up, or the Del Rey's 10th taco spot.
Mm-hmm.
And so this is like Appalachian Italian fusion cuisine is the kind of thing that you love to see when you're covering
I love
restaurants
that.
opening. I love the unique restaurants. Like there's one in McLean that
Mhm.
opened up a while ago that was it was Thai food, but the focus of it was you are not going to find pad Thai or like pad see ew or stuff on the menu. This is like legit classic actual Thai food, not the stuff that they made to appeal to GIs when they came over during the Vietnam War. So I was like, dude, get on that soapbox and get that good dish. So yeah.
Yeah, no, I think this looks great. I like that it's different. I like the in like how they decorate it on the inside too.
Oh
Feels
yeah, that
very
was fun.
classic.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Yeah.
cool. I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
Yeah, all the
aesthetic
very
is
like
amazing.
traditional.
They have like the woman
The wedding
this is
dress.
devoted to her. Yeah, the wedding dress just like up on the wall. That's awesome. And the pictures of her, she looks awesome. Like they're with
Yeah.
her gun, like out hunting. I want to know who this woman was.
Well, you can go to the restaurant and find out more, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, like again, not normally my thing, but like the head mounted on the wall, like it feels very West Virginia. She's also from
Mhm.
Berkeley Springs, which is I don't know if you guys have ever been there, but that's a great little West Virginia spot if you're ever looking to go out there and want a fun
Oh,
Hmm.
local experience.
yeah.
So
Yeah,
this is
I still
Go ahead.
this is
I
our pitch
can't
for the
get
new Berkeley's
over
now.
I
Next
can't get
podcast
over the
tomorrow.
happy hour deals.
Yeah,
Like,
right.
oh my God. Yeah, 5 beers for $5, $3 mug night.
Mm-hmm.
$3 mug night sounds intense.
No, it is in Clarendon, so like, you know, I don't know if you.
That makes it more
Yeah.
dangerous.
Clarendon's most fightiest bar yet. Yeah, I used to go to McFadden's up in DC, which closed because they had too many stabbings. So I feel right.
Wait, is that why it closed?
Yeah, they're not. Back in the day, there were like too many. Like multiple people got stabbed, and they're like, this can't operate." Like I don't even know if DC needed like a zoning thing. They were just like, "This is the bad vibes."
I did not know that.
Yeah.
I was thinking more all of the I feel like freshly 21, 22-year-olds are just gonna
They're gonna tear
drink
it up there.
more than like they're gonna just like drink them out of business at that point. Like,
Yeah. I don't know how many $5 like
Well,
beer nights you can have.
Yeah, but it's
before
like
that dress,
Monday
yeah.
night, right?
that's true, yeah.
That's true. Yeah, young people
Yeah.
never drink at inappropriate times of the day. Also, it's like Monday night, and I'm like, yeah, that's who would be doing that? As I plan to go home and drink myself into oblivion and play Overwatch. So, yeah, I just do it in the comfort of my own home, not an Appalachian tavern like some young heathen.
I don't know. I'm excited. I also
Yeah.
huge fan of pepperoni rolls, so I had genuinely no idea that was like a West Virginia Appalachian
I was
dish, a specialty. I had no
Yeah.
idea.
one of our reporters, Jared. He like went to college in West Virginia. He always talks about these pepperoni rolls. I thought he said that you couldn't like get them in Virginia because they don't meet our health code or something. So I don't know how they're getting around that, or maybe that's just an urban legend.
Yeah,
I always had them in Ohio.
Yeah, if you enforce health code in Virginia and you're listening to this podcast, please stop. Please disregard everything you just heard. Please ignore that. So,
Oh, God.
yeah, something
Yeah, so-
Virginia will not allow on menus is a interesting selling point. But I don't even know if they have pepperoni rolls at this place, right? I know they came up as like a West Virginia delicacy, but I don't even know if it was explicitly mentioned that it'll be there.
Oh,
Oh,
I don't
they have
know.
a sign. Don't they have a sign in the
Yeah,
restaurant about their
yeah.
rules?
No, you're
I'm
thinking
gonna
of the
go
sign that's
check.
in West Virginia. That's the one
Oh.
courtesy Reese Gardner. Oh no,
No,
you're
I
right. It
thought
is
they
in the
had one.
restaurant. You're
Yeah,
absolutely
Yeah,
right.
they have a
Oh
whole
yeah.
plaque devoted to the
yeah.
dish.
So I guess we'll find out
They're
when it
like,
Can
opens
you
on the 11th.
imagine? Can you
So
imagine the bait and switch if they had that, and then you get it, and they're like,
yeah.
"Sorry, we don't serve pepperoni rolls."
Like call your governor. Call one of your five. Call
Call
one of
your
your five state.
representative now.
Yeah, call one of your new 5 ranked choice representatives from Northern Virginia. If you say that we can change to that system and we'll get pepperoni rolls in Virginia, I guarantee you that polling reform
There you
is
go.
the next day. I can't
Oh
even
my
Art of
I
gosh.
would vote for
politics.
that.
Art of the deal, Vernon.
Yeah,
Oh my
tying it all
goodness.
together.
All right.
I
Well,
did the tying it all together motion and I accidentally bumped my fingers together. Did not work at all. So I guess that's fitting.
all right. Well, it looks like the grand opening brunch is Saturday the 16th, but it says that it
Yep.
opens this weekend on the 11th. So if anybody's looking for
That's
weekend plans,
That's Monday. Not sure that counts as a weekend, but okay.
wait, is it Monday? I don't.
Yeah, it's
I
Monday the
don't
11th.
know. I don't know the day of the week.
Well,
It gets
Monday
towards
is
the end of the
usually
week
the
and I
one
lose it
after
all.
Sunday and before
Sure.
Tuesday.
You can
No, I
get
don't know.
the,
I'm looking at the physical number, like of the
Oh.
date, but I'm not like thinking it's Thursday. I'm thinking it's earlier in the week. So I'm
well,
like, well,
you can
in
get
4
there on,
days, that would be.
you got to get there on Monday to try out their $5 beer bucket.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, just in time.
Post work. Yeah.
All right, well, I'll see you
There you
guys there
go.
on Monday.
Yeah.
Looking forward to it.
See y'all there on Monday.
All right.